I've been doing some fluting. Regular watchers of the channel, don't worry. This is not a replacement of my recorders, it is an addition to the recorders. So I've got a flute, I've got the Abracadabra flute method book, I've got no idea what I'm doing, so I thought I would film my first 7 days of practice. For those of you that are new to the channel, I started teaching myself to play the recorder around about 9 months ago, and before that I had no musical experience whatsoever. Before this I have been messing around with a fife for about 3 weeks, but as far as flutes go, that's the only experience, and I'll say it again, I've got no idea what I'm doing, so enjoy! To kick things off on day one, I firstly used just the head joint and tried making a noise. That was okay, so I added the rest of the body back onto the flute and did some confused staring. On day one I managed around half an hour of practice before I had to give in to exhaustion, but by the end of it I was attempting a simple 3-note tune from the book. Luckily the notes B, A and G on the flute are very similar to how you play them on the recorder, so I felt on fairly safe ground. Ooh, I've just turned over to the next page. I tend to take a double page as a lesson each day, and today is a very exciting day it turns out, because I get to learn a B flat and an F. B flat is my favourite note. I don't know why I like B flat so much, but I do. Right, what is it? B and... oh, so many keys. There we go. An F. So I've been struggling to get the G to come out reliably. I guess it kind of gets harder the lower down you go until you get used to it. So I don't hold out much hope for F, but it's next in the book. So we've got to try. Airy. Okay, I'm going to try folk song. Apparently lost the ability to sight read simple notes. Day 4, I think, of flute practice, and I've just watched back the footage that I filmed from yesterday, and all I could see were my fingers. What was all that about? I was just not making efficient movements with my fingers. I think they need to stay much closer to the keys, and so today that's going to be one of my main aims, to try and control my unruly fingers. Also, I was watching some flute tutorial videos on YouTube last night, and one of my favourite tips that I picked up was one for posture. Rather than bringing your body to your flute to play, bring your flute to your body. which is such a simple thing, but when you actually stop to think about it, it's really going to help with posture and with breathing in general, and with just posture in life. I'm going to try to make sure that every time I pick the flute up, I bring it up to my face rather than me going to meet it. What were my fingers doing? This one especially likes to put in an appearance, doesn't it? Also, another tip I picked up from my video splurge on YouTube last night was from Merrily over on the Flute channel, and she says that rather than thinking about your embouchure as a smile, you almost kind of need to do an anti-smile. I know there's a lot of air in the sound, I can hear that when I listen back to the recordings, but I don't know whether I need to loosen the embouchure, tighten the embouchure, change the shape completely. I'm just going to keep trying things, it's all I can do. I quite like Sad Clown. Day 5, and I think I've taken a big leap forwards in the world of fluting. It is a flute cleaning cloth. My flute's second hand, it didn't come with its own cleaning cloth, so up till now I've been using paper kitchen towel like a muggle. But today in the post has arrived this very pretty cleaning cloth. It's from Beaumont, and it's made out of bamboo charcoal, so apparently it is extra super absorbent for cleaning out the inside of your flute. Oh, that's so much easier than paper cloth. Who knew a towel could be so exciting? I was watching more videos last night of flute playing, and one thing that I noticed was a lot of the time people had the flute sitting slightly higher on their lip than I think I have been doing. So today I'm going to give that a try and see if that helps me get a slightly clearer sound. Well, that's the lowest note I've ever got out of the flute, so maybe higher on the lip is good for me. I don't even know if that is the proper fingering for a note, I'm just putting random fingers down. I think I should get back to my book rather than just faffing around. And today I get to learn a D, the higher D. Not the highest D, but not the lowest D. That D. Thumb, no index finger. No little finger. It would help if I put my fingers on the right keys. What an idiot. Okay, this apparently opens up the world of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star to me. The tune that catches up all recorder players sooner or later. like I'm covering a lot of the embouchure hole with my lip. I don't know if I should be. Probably shouldn't be covering too much of it. I've discovered a thing. I've known for a long time that you can tune your recorder either by pulling out the head joint to make it flatter or pushing it back in to sharpen everything, and it's the same for a flute. It's something that I've told myself not to worry about on the flute. While I'm starting out on my own, I'll work on getting a sound first and then being in tune can come later. But I was just having a little mess around when I got it out of its case this morning, and I've been suffering with a really airy sound, as you've heard. So this is a B with the head joint pushed all the way in. But if I pull out slightly, so does pushing in and pulling out the head joint affect not only the tuning but also the amount of air you hear in the sound? New note of the day is a D, which is everything but the little finger. I think that might be as good a D as we are getting for today. I think I've got a sticky key. Can you hear that? I'm not really sure it should be making that noise. I'd really like to send the flute for a service. It was second hand. It looks to be in really good condition, but I think the pads probably should be looked at. I think it's quite an old flute. And I can see there's quite a lot of oil underneath the keywork that's gone quite brown and gunky. So I'd like to get it serviced and cleaned, but I checked out the person that does it locally to me, and it's a 3 to 4 week turnaround. So here we are at day 7, which traditionally equals a full week. This was supposed to be 7 consecutive days of practice, but actually over the past couple of days I just haven't had any time to pick up my flute or my recorders. So I'm back after a couple of days, which meant that I've spent a good 20 minutes or so this morning just trying to give myself a bit of a refresher, because obviously over 48 hours I have forgotten everything that I've been trying to learn. But now I feel ready to tackle the next 2 pages in Abracadabra Flute, which means we have a tune called Turn the Glasses Over, which is apparently a traditional tune, but I've never come across it. It is handily not on the CD that's included with Abracadabra Flute, but never mind. You can tell I'm a recorder player because my little finger keeps wanting to lift up on notes where it should really stay put. Something else I'm struggling with is balancing the flute. I think I'm relying far too much on my thumb for balancing the flute, but of course there is the thumb key to be controlled by the thumb, so obviously your thumb isn't always in place. I have read that the flute is supposed to balance quite nicely underneath your index finger, but for me, every time I have to move my thumb, it kind of has a little wobble about, and that means that I lose the sound that I'm trying to make. I am still persevering with the head joint being pulled out a little bit. This is not for tuning purposes at the moment, and I am trying to use it more to help how airy my air sounds. I am trying to use it more as a thing to help my tone be clearer and less airy. The next tune in Abracadabra Flute seems to be quite a nice one to wrap my week of practice up with. It is Annie's Song by John Denver, a bit of a flute classic, I think, thanks to James Galway, and who doesn't love a bit of John Denver? I'm taking far too long to swap between a C and a D. That's the one where I'm finding the awkward balancy thumb type issues. But there we go, that's it, that's my week up. So how could I sum up my first week of fluting? Well, I suppose on the most basic level I can say that at the start of the week I didn't have a clue how to play a single note on the flute and I was struggling to make any sound at all. But now, with any amount of luck, I can do a D to D scale. She says confidently. Let me try. I reckon as soon as I stop filming this video, I'm gonna go get on the phone and find myself a flute teacher. I mean, I don't even know if I've got this thing assembled correctly. I don't think I'm going to film a flute progress video every single week. I might drop things in on Instagram occasionally, so give me a follow over there. I might do one every couple of weeks or maybe after my first month of practice, something like that. But yes, it does seem that I've signed myself up for practicing the flute and all of my recorders every day. If you've enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and there are lots of recorder videos, there are going to be more flute videos, and I quite often drop other wind instruments in there as well, just for a bit of fun. Thank you so much for watching, hope to see you again next time, bye!